Today we're going to discuss a little bit on how do we use computational modeling with the aim of a better understanding of heart failure. Heart failure occurs when the cardiac muscle does not pump well the blood as it should. When this happens, blood often comes back and fluid can build up in the lungs, causing shortness of breath, lack of oxygen, and you can develop a lot of problems. It affects around 2% of the population. It's a very serious heart disease. Now the starting point for us are clinical images, either CT scans, also known as contrast tomography, or magnetic resonance images, or MRI scans for short. We use these images to do cementations. Once we have identified the 4 cavities of the heart, we can create the actual surface that will delimit the volume, and we generate something along the lines of this. In blue you can see the atrium, in orange is the left ventricle, and red is the right ventricle. You can observe that both ventricles have very different wall thickness. We really need to capture this in order to model properly the mechanical activity of the heart. For that we need a volume to generate the respective simulations. We accomplish this by filling the entire volume with several tetrahedra. So in the end we have a volume representation of the heart comprised by many tetrahedra. Now we want to model the electromechanical activity of the heart when you have different wall thickness in both left and right ventricles. To achieve this, we used a model called Bestel-Clemons-Orin model, which is a system of partial differential equations that describes the activity of the heart when it contracts and relaxes. The tissue is considered as an hyperelastic material. This means that the tissue is a solid but at the same time has some elasticity properties. The model consists of 4 phases: filling, contraction, ejection, and relaxation. In this particular case, we're working with only the ventricles. We don't have the aorta, so we model it via another model called the Wind-Kessel model. We used around 86,000 points and 36,000 tetrahedra, resolution of about 2 millimeters, which is a good compromise between computational cost and the actual time to generate each simulation. One of the advantages that we have in modeling is that based on one set of clinical data, we can then modify certain parameters to dilate or contract the geometry. Then we can plug it in our model and see what happens. So what are we able to compute or generate with our model? Usually we compute pressure and volume curves as well as other indices. The idea is that for each cavity we can have a curve describing the pressure, another one of the volume with the annotations of the actual phases in each. We aim to generate a larger dataset synthetically to augment the one that we have from the clinic. The objective of this is to be able to do statistical analysis on this augmented dataset that will cover a lot or a whole range of cases. As a further goal, we want to apply some machine learning algorithms on our new augmented dataset with the aim of doing predictions. As you may think, this is quite complex because you have to couple 3 systems: the mechanical one, the one that comes from hemodynamics, meaning pressure and blood flow, and the one that accounts for electrical activity, which is the main driver of the actual activation and contraction of the heart. A few examples of what we are able to do now. For one heart, we can modify the anatomy. For instance, here in the top left, we can see that the wall in the left ventricle is considerably thicker. So the idea is to generate a whole lot of virtual cases, do some simulations of them, and study the different outcome scenarios of each. And that is all for me. Thank you very much. If you have questions or comments, please let us know. And you can contact us anytime. See ya.